and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. Hello there, beloved Ascension pioneers and all you lovers of life. So here is a short update for all of us as newfound lovers of life. So divine lovers, as I love to call the collective energy of the group that we belong to. So I speak about this very often, and last year in the summer I think I made a video about the path of a divine lover and what it means, and I've explained some of the things and synchronicities if you're guided to check that out. But in truth, it's very simple. I want to share the fact that, on this path of ascension, you meet a lot of people who still hold this belief that ascension is something that you need to vertically go through. But in truth, ascension is not in its fullness of its true being really ascension if the vertical self does not meet the horizontal self. So who are divine lovers of life? It's actually those of us who came here mostly as volunteer souls, and a lot of people who are remembering for the first time after many travels on this planet and beyond that they actually truly also belong to this frequency, because we're all born of love. It's not this or that, it's this and that. It's just that we're coming from our different angle of creation in terms of what we're serving now on this planet within our chosen paths. And when I say divine lovers, are those who came here as volunteer souls, plus those who've remembered as well and are now ready to step fully into the embodiment of a divine lover of life. So the one that chooses to meet the horizontal aspect of living with the vertical self. And a lot of the times for this path, you need to go through a lot of relationships and a lot of relationship energies. That doesn't just mean intimate partnerships, of course it does, but also relating to many things, maybe to different businesses, maybe to different techniques, maybe to different styles of living, maybe through traveling, whatever kind of, path you've chosen as a soul individually. But we're all bringing this newfound aspect of this, what it means to be a lover of life. I always teach this in my mastery courses: trust spirit, trust life, because in truth they're one of the same. And divine lovers are those of us who really embracing the calling that this is, one and the same. So when I talk about this and our newfound path, you will feel it, and you're probably feeling it strong this month, and especially after the 1010 portal. And actually, when I've written my blog, you can always read my Ascension updates. These are channeled spirit messages and some of the sharings of my own journey and some of the messages that I frequently share on Facebook and my Instagram page. All my links are shared down below if you want to get more acquainted with my work and you want to join the community of divine lovers all across the planet. So I share these things as principles that we're moving through. And I shared about this portal being 10, 10, 10. So people were asking me, why the triple 10, right? They said it's 10, 10, and 9. And everyone was asking me, and I just laughed. I didn't even feel the need to explain, because how I got it was 10, 10, 10. I didn't even question it. It's because the date was, of course, 10th of October, which is 10 to 10. But how I got it is because this year, specifically October, is also 10 universal month, which is a 1, so I saw it as a 10, 10, 10. So divine lovers, you see, we're beings who don't question what we receive. We don't so much mentally boggle with these things to always need to explain them rationally or, validate, or we don't go to resources first. First, we always go through our inner resource. And we're so full of creative life force, of creative potential, that this intense harnessing of that energy, if it's not utilized, well, you better watch out, because people who don't creatively express their unique life force energy, they might tend to get either depressed or too angry. So these are two extremes. Even depression is strongly repressed anger, so not living life. So we're basically almost like avoiding and negating life. But also there's a lot of people who see ascension as this vertical process where all you do is gather a lot of information, resources, and you go up. But if that upward movement, which is of course a part of this ascension integration, is not met with the downward movement, the downward spiraling and moving into our being, which is the light body merge with our physical, so we're all hybrid humans in a way. Divine lovers are all hybrid humans because we have activated our interstellar galactic memory and we've brought it here into form. So those of us who are doing this joint dance now, this communal dance, are really opening up to this new power. So on the 10th of 10th, there was such a strong magnetic force that, of course, what does the wave first do? It crashes right into the shore. So a lot of us have felt this crash, boom, bang in a way. And I felt it too. I had for a few days intense exhaustion, and I'm still exhausted and sleep deprived, because when our nervous system is hit through such intensity, it's bombarded with this new light. It's not like, when I say bombarded, it tends to kind of sound a little negative, when it's not really. It's all created from love, and we're actually the ones who've co-created this new energy. A lot of times, even myself included, we talk about the divine decree and divine dispensations given to us. But because there's those of us who've now mastered this, and we have stepped forward into choosing this path of sovereign ascension, we've helped to co-create this energy. It's not just an external force, and if you're just praying to that energy outside of you, you're still missing the point of what it's really about, and you're not fully stepping into a role of a divine lover of life. So divine lovers, again, it's those of us who are really feeling that everything in life is such a blessing. Everything is a sign. We're living through divine synchronicity. We're seeing the magic in everything. We're the wizards of this new generation. We're the priests and priestesses. We are the new kids, the indigo children, the crystal children, rainbow children, diamond children. It's just spectrums of different light all coming together as one fellowship. And what I want to share today in this video is that I myself am deeply expanding in this so-called fellowship, because what I've been shown for quite a few weeks now is that it's time to move forward. It's time to move beyond what we've known as the isolated ascension path, because a lot of us, in order to get where we are now, to be meeting each other in pure relationships, no longer the projections and the codependent relationships, but the new energy template. So we're meeting people who mirror our new energy. We're no longer experiencing so much of that old, what I've shared in my previous video about the sacred alchemy of soul love. So when this process is engaged, there's going to be fast, rapid forward movements and heart openings, and heart barriers almost really released, because it's just time. So recently I had a massage with my assistant in this field, and I asked him, because one day I went to the mountains, and the same day I kind of broke this nail, and I kind of started bleeding a bit, which was really intense. And the same day I hit this line here somewhere, at the shelf. And I'm like, what? That's the same stream of energy that goes through, and everything is a message, of course, and it's never negative. So divine lovers, we're seeing, wow, what is my body releasing or integrating with that? So I asked my massage person, and she quickly said, well, this is the heart barrier in a way. So that's the energetic coiling of, I don't even know how to call it, but the energetic barrier around the heart. And so if that broke and that popped, it's like your body knows which chords to press and what to stimulate, so that barrier is released. And after that, I did have strong stimulations and heart openings, and of course reflected in my relationship as well. But it was so intense and so profound that we're really beginning to see how everything is divinely orchestrated by us, through us, for all of us together as one. So when we're starting to open up to that, it's like we want to live life. And that is why I'm calling this video that it's time to live. Because for so many of us, we've been preparing, right? We've been doing things, or even our work of light behind the scenes. Even people like me, I've been doing lots of these public videos, and yet most of the work I've been doing was still behind the scenes. I didn't meet so many people. I was still kind of, as a hermit here in these mountains, and, kind of like still in my inner zone. But now we're coming out of the shell, out of the cocoon. It breaks open, it pops open, because it's time. It's not that we've done something or something is given to us. It's just everything is divinely orchestrated and calculated to such a precision that only the true divine logic, so the great mathematician known to us as the great orchestrator, the great source of our life, knows this, and we're part of that source. And when we go through our life through that complete trust, we know and feel that. So after I do this video, please check out the next video, which is the promotion for the fellowship. And you'll see in that video my new expansion of what I'm being guided to is this new step. That video was actually recorded a while ago, but it wasn't yet time. I didn't feel yet to share it, and I was having a lot of material prepared on the back burner. It didn't yet come to the point of ripening. It didn't come to fruition yet, because it was still just as a seed planted. So now I've been shown that these green lights are being triggered for a lot of the things we might be developing behind the scenes. So it's time now. When I say it's time to live, right? So for most of my part, let me share my story. I was very much focusing on this vertical side of the ascension. And I needed to, because the tree, when you look at the nature of the whole tree, right, the rooting of that, because my vertical went all the way down, I needed to go up, then I needed to create static and stable roots for this, what I call the vertical ascension. And now it's time for this horizontal ascension. So the horizontal ascension is going to move us, and it will expand us to as much the degree that we have been doing that vertical expansion. So some people are still doing that. That's beautiful. We're all within our own processes. So when I share these things and people go, why is she saying this? At the same time she says everyone is at their own spot, because it's just an invitation. It's not a judgment. It's not in a way of referencing where people are. It's just that everyone, no matter where they are, they're still being called to life to step up even more now. So when I share things, I share them as openings, as invitations, never as judgments or assumptions. So when this horizontal expansion and our ascension starts to begin physically, because we've been doing the work, right? I've been doing this preparation this whole summer. I've been expanding in a way internally. It was more horizontal, but it was still more internal. Now, after this activation, especially next year when our new creation cycle begins, and this month we're going to have these glimpses into this, what our future divine potentialities are, what our new pathways and where they're moving us are. So this will start to bring new sense of stability on this physical plane, because the fifth dimension as a dimensional state is already anchored on the planet. I've shared this before, but it's up to us how we're aligning with it, that we're doing it with our lives. Because a lot of people were ascending and that they feel the energies, but they're not yet in the knowing of how they align their physical lives. How do I align with this new system? How do I align with the new financial freedom, or with the new way of living my purpose, not so much dependent on other resources, but integrating my own inner resources in a way that's more flowing and more horizontal and expanded. So this is this next step, and that's why I'm calling it that it's time to live, because only through getting to know life are we actually growing. If you're too vertical, in a sense that you're polarizing yourself, like, well, I'm more in my spirit, I don't want to go too much down on earth. It's not the same thing when I said I was very vertical for these past few years, because I was still sharing, I was communicating with all the people, I was still living my life, I wasn't just up there. When I say that I was mostly engaging in the vertical ascension, is that I needed to stretch my tree of life like this, so that now in the coming togetherness it can go like this. Strong branches, right? Expansions in the physical. That's what I mean. I don't mean in a sense that it wasn't grounded. I was always, for example, very grounded, and everything I activated, I brought down. But now when I talk about this horizontal expansion in our ascension, it's a sense that our reality of the inner templating of that fifth dimensional state of being is when that ovoid's that word I was looking for before, the energetic ovoid around our heart is cracking, so that there can be an expansion through our external heart as well. The physical heart merging with the inner heart, but there's a third energy being created now, and this is what I call, and I'm being shown, is this horizontal, our new ascension. It's not this or that, it's the meaning with our vertical self. So it's this and that. Don't get that wrong. It's not we're doing that before, now we're going there. Is we're doing this and that simultaneously in a way, but for us to have a physical expression and experience that's life affirming in a new way, we're gonna start feeling it more and more. So enough of that. Do check that out, my new video on the fellowship, which is some of the projects that I am seeing for the next, especially next year ahead. Where I am now is, as I was guided to tell you before, if you've been updated so far, is that I was shown that for my 33rd, which is when I'm going to really activate my inner mastery within, it's time for me to honor myself with a sacred journey. And I finally have that journey, so I'm going on a vacation. I will keep you updated, and I will maybe do some sharings after I come back home. So I will take the vacation next week, by the end of next week, and then I'm coming home around November 1st. So I will start implementing these new things, and even for the personal retreats, the material is finally gonna, I hope, let's really hold our fists together, that things will finally be ready to be set into motion, so you can visit here in this space. And for the next year, I'm really seeing finally this, I'm being shown that it really is time for these sacred gatherings to begin. of course, here in the Alps, but I also feel called to visit certain spaces and then do these gatherings with people that are maybe located there. So everything will be shown to us in the moment when we are where we are with the right people coming together, the right ingredients. That's the source of alchemy. But what I'm being shown is that we're needing to support each other. So someone might have more knowledge, someone might have more resources, like financial resources, someone is maybe more in handy with physical hands. And these are the kind of things we're going to be asked to bring together now. No longer, well, this and or that, but this and that, a fusion of our resources. Well, that's the new earth. So I've been shown that where I was doing things so far, I can no longer get the way I was doing things. I can't break through the barrier of the new doing things the same way anymore. So because of that, people, situations, things mixing up, stirring us up, and for a lot of you it might seem like shock at the beginning, or old things are leaving you and you go like, what? In a way, it's good to rebuild your life from a steady foundation, from that flat templating, which is blank slate, a blank piece of paper, all white, because that's how we get to recreate our new lives completely anew. Some of you have been doing that, and some of you are going to shift completely into the unknown. Doesn't matter which side of the equation you find yourself in, because in the union and a lot of people coming together now for the higher good, which is the higher calling and mission, there's going to be synthesis. So maybe someone coming from one side of the equation, another coming from this one, and when they merge, there's a powerful alchemy occurring, a powerful creative force. So the Vesica Pisces polarity, which I always talk about, and the joining and coming together, is the new templating for that creative partnerships in the new. Watch my videos on that theme and read my blogs on the journal, the Diary of an Ascension Pioneer. And I told you before that Ascension Pioneers is no longer at work. Now the page is blank. You're only going to be referred to Serapina Light, which is my true page now, my only page besides my blog of Ascension Pioneers, and you're going to be redirected there. So when it's time and I finally get things together and everything, newsletters and updates will be coming from that page. So stay patient with me. There's lots of work I have to do. Well, I'm in the love of doing it and my devotion. But as I said, I'm being shown that we really need to step up together now. So there's a great calling, there's a greater devotion we're being asked of, because we can talk about it, right? We can talk about it nonstop, and we can look at each other like single units. We're not single digits, right? We're all part of this bigger mathematics, right? So me stepping up and finally starting to journey more, I'm moving and expanding horizontally as well, and I get a chance to meet some of you, and you get a chance to meet me, and then later meeting in groups. That's going to be the templating of our new, and when the right people come together, the right time, the right place, magic happens. So please check out that my new project, which is basically, it's also, the fellowship is a part of the sponsorship via Patreon, but you can also just continue to, if you're guided, feel called to do, I don't know, random spontaneous energetic exchange via donations. But if we want to get somewhere, right, and people always tell me they want to meet me and they want to do retreats and gatherings, well, for me, if I just stay vertical, I can't expand enough to actually do that, because right now we're also expanding and we're cracking through the system. We're kind of like needing to move through it. So if you're expanding more vertically, then you need to align more horizontally. And Spirit always tells me, as much as you will stretch yourself, that's how much you're going to get. So this is my calling, to stretch myself out a little more, to ask also even more support from you, because that's how I can come and maybe visit some places, and we can do some things together in the very near future. So after my holiday and after some of the things coming down in a new way, I will let you know. But please check out that project. It's called the Fellowship. It's basically about you can support through Patreon, that page, or you can just contact me if you have any further ideas or whatever. So this requires, you see, the sun is shining in a new way. This requires us to really step up in a new way. So that's it. It's time for us to live. It's time for us to really realize that we are worthy of it, that we're magic, because there's a lot of people who say, yeah, but what if this or what if that? Well, like I said, how much you'll stretch yourself and you're going to be willing to receive, that's how much you'll get. Because the whole of life can only give you as much as you are saying, okay, I accept it, I allow it, and if it is for the greater good, it's always going to find the pathway. And for me, That was always my calling. It was always to create for something more than just myself. That's why I came here. So yeah, that's it for now. Please enjoy this new chapter. It might just start coming through little little droplets, little bits and pieces, but it will start adding up, bigger pieces of the puzzle coming together very soon. Stay very grounded to see that. I know there's waves of energy going like this, but you're a powerful being, you're a powerful hero of your own journey, you're a powerful co-creator, manifester. So stay intact with that, and you can get in touch with me. And if you will, in any chance, engage in my courses during my time away. It's just going to be maybe 10 days or so, my holiday. I will get right back at you when I come back. So don't worry about that. Stay updated. I love you so very much. And that's it for today. It's time for us to love and to live, because life is love and we live love. I love you all so very much. Wisdom and power.